Welcome to another episode of Mexican in the Kitchen. For this recipe I'm using Amaranth. Amaranth is one of these now superfoods that are hip, they're cool, everyone wants to use them because it has a lot of fiber, a lot of protein, it has a lot of vitamins, minerals, etc. It's a really nice ingredient. I'm also using 300 grams of brown sugar. I will also be using 100 grams of honey, 30 grams of raisins, 50 grams of pumpkin seed, and just a bit of water. I will start by toasting my amaranth. I'm going to do it on a 3 or 4 out of 6. I just want to be really careful because I don't want to burn my grains. You will notice as soon as you put it in the pan, you will hear this cracking noise. Don't worry about it, just keep moving it. What we want is to get them to a darker brown, but not to burn them. I'm not sure how much can you appreciate it on the video, but I can tell already this is getting really brown. It's getting to the perfect spot, so I'm going to take it out and reserve it on a separate container. My pan is still on a 3 or 4 out of 6, so medium high fire. I'm going to do the same with my pumpkin seed as I did with my amaranth. I'm going to throw them there and I just want to toast them until they become a bit crispy and they will get a really nice flavor. For this recipe I went really basic. I'm just using pumpkin seed, some raisins and the amaranth. Of course, if you don't like raisins, you can skip them, and you can also add other seeds. You can add maybe sesame seed, you can also add peanuts, you can add nuts, whatever you like. This whole process is really quick, so you have to be constantly checking, constantly moving the seeds around, but you will also notice it's quite quick. So after a few minutes this already looks perfect, and I'm going to take them out and put them on a separate container also. Once my seeds are ready, I'm going to continue with the caramel. For that I'm going to throw the sugar in the pan. It's on a 3 out of 6, so it's medium fire. I want to do this slowly because I really don't want to burn it. If you burn the caramel it will become bitter, so we don't want that. I am adding just a splash of water and I'm going to continue mixing this. This recipe originally takes piloncillo or panela, which is a traditional sugar we use in Latin America, but I think it's not super common in Europe. If you find it, you can use that and just use the exact same amount. You will just probably need a bit more water and try to reduce it at the end. But right now I'm just going to add my honey also. I want the honey to become part of the caramel, so I add it at this point. Having something liquid also starts helping the rest of the sugar to melt faster. I'm using this pan because it's really easy to clean. It's this Teflon and nothing really sticks. I recommend that. You can use any pot you like, but personally I prefer using this because at the end it's just way easier to clean. When making caramel you have to be really careful because this rises to a really high temperature and it's really thick. So if you get burned with caramel it will be a bit hard to take out of your skin, so it will be a nasty burn. Just be careful, that's why I use low temperatures. It helps us to keep control on it and it's way safer. As you can see, my caramel is quite liquid now and we need a way to find out if this is ready or do we still need to cook it a bit more. What I found out is that the traditional way is to take some of the caramel and throw it into a glass of cold water. As you can see, water cools down our caramel and we want it to be thick and sticky, but we don't want it to be extra sticky and we don't want it to be runny. So what we're going to do is take it with our hands and we're going to play with it. In this case, you can see it's kind of a rubber. I can play with it, I can make a small sphere. It won't stick, but I can tell it's sticky. I can tell it's like some caramel. So this is the perfect spot. When you get this kind of rubber ball, then you know your caramel is ready. At this point we can start making our bars. Now that I'm ready, I'm going to start by adding the amaranth into a bowl. After that, I'm also adding my pumpkin seeds. Once I'm ready, I'm going to finish with the raisins, and of course, if you have other seeds, you can add them here too. You can also play with the quantities. You can substitute the amaranth for any other seed, skip it completely, add some other stuff, just play with it, make whatever you prefer. But once we have mixed them, then we are going to add all our caramel. As I said, this is really hot, so be extra careful when pouring your caramel. And while we are not in a crazy hurry, we still want to do this a bit quickly because we don't want our caramel to solidify. Once we have poured our caramel, of course we have to mix, and I prefer doing this with a wooden spoon because it's way easier. It doesn't get as stuck as with other things, but you can use whatever you prefer. As you can see, while you mix everything, the color changes because you have the caramel brown and everything starts to be quite sticky. That's exactly what we want. We want the caramel to be all over our mix. I am using this tray I use for the oven because nothing gets stuck to it. If you don't have one of these, you can use a regular one with some baking paper on it. Reality is I want something that's squared, so I can cut it and make these kind of bars. But realistically, you could use even some other kind of molds. You can use cookie cutters. You can use whatever you want to give it the shape you want. After pouring my mix, I'm going to take a spoon and just press everything. I just want to make sure it's as even as I can, because I want my bars to be really even. My mix is quite even already, but you can always add an extra baking paper sheet on top and just use something else to press it. In this case, I have the exact same tray, so I can just press on top and make it really tight. As you can see, now I'm ready, and I'm just going to leave this on a fresh and dry place for about an hour for everything to solidify. An hour has gone by and this looks quite nice. I'm going to take a chopping board and I'm just going to turn it upside down on top of that. I will do just one quick movement and it should come out of the mold quite easily. As I said, this has already solidified, it looks delicious, and at this point we just have to cut it. For cutting this, it's quite easy. I just use a wet knife, that's so it doesn't stick so much to the knife. It might be a bit hard, but just press down on the knife and the cut should be quite simple. I cut this as small snack bars because I think it's really easy to take with you, have them as a quick evening snack, something before you work out. They are really delicious. This is the end result. These amaranth bars are just really good. They are really tasty. They're quite easy to just carry around. You can take this as a snack. At least I prefer them to these kind of ready-made bars they sell. These are way nicer, they taste really good. They of course have a very sweet taste, but the amaranth kind of nutty taste, it goes really well with it. It's a delicious snack, it's called Alegria. It means happiness in Mexico, because I mean, when you try this you will probably understand. And I hope you try this at home. Hope you like the video. Press like, subscribe, activate the bell, share it with your friends, all those kind of things. And see you in the next one.